In this lesson, we're gonna continue to talk about how we can edit websites and pages and articles in the WordPress dashboard, and more in specific using the editor in the appearance section. So we saw that we can use two different types of editors. One is a little bit older and one is the more updated, and it's right here again in the appearance editor. Otherwise, we can edit directly the pages and the pause. But we're gonna see that through the editor right here, we can not only change the aspect and customize the theme, which is a series of preset templates. Now from here, we can also customize all the pages and all the paths of your website. So it's a really powerful tool that we're gonna explore more in this video. So in the previous one, we changed a little bit the text inside a block using also some CSS, and we continue to customize essentially the page. Now, if I scroll all the way down, now these are parts of the template and parts of the theme that I didn't choose. They were here because they were already preset in the theme that I've chosen. So I can also customize and eliminate some of these stuff that I don't need through the editor. So what I'm gonna do here is just close this. I don't want to work in the split view right now because we're only gonna work with the editor right here, and we don't really need a split view. Perhaps we can check the results later on. But so what I'm gonna do is go directly here in the editor. So first of all, we talked about navigation using the editor, and we customize a little bit this menu right here, choosing the different pages that we created and reorganizing. Then we talk about styles, but well, talking about styles, you cannot go further too much because you need a premium version of WordPress and you need a higher plan. Otherwise, you cannot customize too much. But just to recap about the styles, now a lot of the website is defined by the CSS, which are also called cascade style sheets. So cascade style sheet, they operate using colors, changing the aspect of your website, but also the structure, like where the menu is going to be or where the content and everything else. So if we have a look real quick here by searching in Google, cascade style sheets or CSS, we can see that this is a language and it's basically connected to the HTML. So let me just show you this website right here. So if you search for cascade style sheet and you go down, one of the first will be the W3 schools. And I think this is a really helpful website to understand better the CSS, HTML, PHP, and so on. So if you want to study this a little bit more, and perhaps in the future you want to get to a higher level of customization of your website, well, definitely this is a good website that you can check. So if we go here, now this is CSS section, but you also have HTML, JavaScript, SQL, Python, Java, PHP. So you have a lot of standards that are used in the web today, and this is how web pages are composed. So you can see that CSS is the language to style an HTML document. So the base of a web page is going to be the HTML. And if we check real quick the HTML language, you can see here, well, you have also tutorials and other stuff here. You can try out to write your own code. So it's really interesting and fun. But just to have a quick look, you can see the HTML is just a document that is going to be opened by this tag right here and closed by this other tag. Now, anything that falls inside these two tags is the head, which are like things that usually are not visible except for like page title or things like that. So you have like meta tags and things like that. And then you have the body, that is the part that is more visible of the HTML document. Now in the body, we have the content, like a paragraph like this. This is a paragraph. So you have always opening and closing tag. And then this is a heading. Now all this is taken care of by WordPress. You don't need to write a single line of code if you're working with WordPress, but at least you know what we're talking about. So on the HTML we can apply also CSS, which is gonna work simultaneously and is gonna take care, for example, of the background color of your website. So in this case, we're gonna use the body and we're gonna change here. We can type a name or we can type a specific color. And then we can change the size or the alignment of a title or of a paragraph. So you have a syntax that you can use working with CSS essentially. Now again, you don't need to know any of these. This is just to show you where you will, well, you can continue if you want to know more about HTML, CSS, and more. So I'm just going to close this. Let's go back here. So when we're talking about styles, we're talking about CSS, but we're not going to view here the CSS. Everything is taken care of by the WordPress platform. So if I click here, you can see that we can enter the style book. So how everything can be styled in WordPress. If you click in the little pencil, we can get and have like a visual representation of the styles and of the various blocks that we can work with in WordPress, but mainly also in HTML. So just gonna close this when I go back so that we don't lose our path. So be careful on these little buttons. They can change here the editor, and we're gonna discover this a little bit more. So if I click again here, you can see now it's not going into the blocks, but it's going again into the page. So depending if you have this little eye turned on or off, it's gonna change visualization. So right here, we're checking out all the different possibilities we have with blocks and the block editor. And if I close this or turn off the little style book icon here, this is the standard editor that we have been using so far. So depending on where you click here, it's going to change things. Now I also have this one open, which is style. So if I turn this off, you can see it's going to hide this panel, which is for styles. And again, this is a little bit different from the standard panel, which usually is this one here, when you can edit the page. And we already saw this. We saw that we can go directly to the content and where you can edit the block. So if I click here, again, we saw this, and we use a color here for the text, for the background, for the link color. And this is essentially working with CSS, but we are not seeing this. This is just WordPress working for us, creating CSS or modifying CSS. And also these are part of the CSS again. So padding, if you see this, let me show you. If we search for like CSS, padding, margin, well, CSS in a way works like a block. So it's like having a box and you have like the content inside that, the padding, the border, the margin, and you can customize all of this stuff if you want using CSS. Okay, so you have page and block. Now, if we want to know a little bit more about styles, we can close this. We can use these styles. Now here we can change typography. So for example, we can change the text font, but this will be the one that have been chosen for the template and for the theme especially. So if you want to change this, yeah, you can do it. But again, you need to upgrade to a premium version of WordPress or higher. So let's remove the premium styles. So all you can do here is just preview all these changes, but you cannot apply them until you have a better plan in WordPress. You can change the size, the appearance again, the line height, and so on. Let's go back. You can change the links, and this is going to work for the overall website, by the way, not just this block. So this is changing the styles of the entire website. Then you have headings. So you can define all these headings types and captions, buttons, and so on. And this is just typography. Then you have colors. So you can change the color, there you go, of the overall text. But again, you need to remove you need to upgrade. So just gonna remove here just to show you that you can customize all of this stuff. So it's just the same thing that we did for a single block. Now you are allowed to do that, but you're not allowed to style the whole website. And then the layout, again, you have possibility to change the content space, the padding again, the block spacing, and so on. So you can check here the style book. If we click here, now these are all the things that you can customize. So for example, this is our representation of the various headings. So this is the title 1, and then you have title 2, or heading 2, heading 3, heading 4, heading 5, and so on. And then you have an example of AI assistant, writing prompt, markdown, paragraph. So this is how your paragraph will look like in your website anywhere. And then you have a representation of the list block. So these are all the blocks again you can use. So if you want to know what blocks you can use in WordPress, you can just keep a look here to this style book. So this is video, this is a image comparison, and this is a slideshow, story, tiled gallery image, get simple gallery, audio, and so on. And then you have design. So design elements like a page break, separator, a group, and columns, buttons, layout grids. And then you have other widgets here. So you can check them. And this is about the theme. So again, the navigation, the site logo, site title, site tagline, and there you go. So this is all the things that you can, if you want, you can change in terms of styles. Now here you saw that the block list. So if I go back in this style view, in style panel, if I go to blocks, this is another representation of all the blocks that you can use. So look how many types of blocks you can use. So if I click on paragraph again, now we can see a preview of the paragraph, and we can override here how the paragraphs will look like. But again, this is with premium version. Let's go back. And so you either check the various blocks from here, or you open up the style book here. Okay, now let's close everything. To get back to the original panel, remember you need to click here. And now we are in the header, by the way. So if you want to modify the content, you're going to go here. If you want to modify the header, you can go to the header, and so on. So also I want to show you these 3 dots. So if I click on here, this is different types of views. So here I can either use or not the top toolbar. Here I can use the spotlight mode, which means that if I click on this block, everything else will be like a little bit less visible, and this is going to be like more visible. And then you have distraction free, which is going to take off everything. It's just going to leave the actual website. So everything else will be removed. And this is again kind of a closer preview of what your website will look like. I'm just going to go back to the original. So I'm going to uncheck this, and let's go forward here to the editor. Now we have visual editor, which is actually the front end. So the final result of your editing. If you go in the code editor, now you can see that we can check, we can have a little look to the code. So you can switch from visual editor and code editor. And we have plugins. So we have settings again from here, and styles. So this is also where we can switch from like standard settings and styles. And then we can also export. We can download your theme with updated templates and styles. So you can export everything into a folder. Then you have keyboard shortcuts. If you want to study this and be quicker to edit the blocks. welcome guide, copy all blocks. You can copy all blocks and bring it into another section. And then you have help and preferences also. Now in preferences, again, you have distraction free, spotlight mode, show buttons text label. So if you don't like buttons because you don't understand that, you can also turn them into text labels. So perhaps it's easier for you to understand. And you can always open the list view, so the block list view sidebar by default, so the block list that we just saw. And we can also display or not the block breadcrumbs. So let me just close this. So block, if I select this, and block breadcrumbs are down here. So you can see now I am in the page, in the content of this page, in this paragraph. So this is the block that I am editing right now. So it's kind of a navigation menu. So if I click here, I can go back to the content, click here, and I'm back to the page. So if I get lost, I can also use that. Let me just go back here and just click inside here and go back to the page. And that's it. So I want to show you real quick also the downloaded content here with the export. You're going to find a zip folder here that I can extract, and we can check some of the documents that are inside these export. So you see, if we extend this, we have some CSS document right here. So this is a preview on the right side, and then you have like a screenshot of the template that we're using. And if we go here to assets, we have fonts, images, languages, patterns that have been used, and these are PHP, as you can see. And then you have styles, again, parse, like footer, and this is, I think this is just standard HTML without the style. So you can see here the bare bone of the website. Let's go back again into the dashboard and go back into the editor again. And this time we're gonna check the, well, we saw already the pages. We can see that just by clicking inside, we can access the home page, by the way. So this is the page we're seeing. And if I click here, I can directly see, and there's also some explanation. So if I continue, and again, you can, if I click again here in the header, you can see that I can also edit the template to edit this block. So I can either edit directly the blocks, or I can edit the template. Now you can think the theme as a combination of templates. So if you're editing the template, you will affect the whole website. So you can see the same template can be used for multiple pages, which means that the changes you do in a template will be visible on all the pages and parts of the website that use this template. So you may affect other pages, and so be careful if you want to edit just a single page or the whole pages and in the website. So right now we are editing the template, and we're editing the pages template. We can also go back, and again we are on the same part of before. We can click again and go back to edit template from here, or we can also click and go to templates from here. Now these are the templates for the archives. Click on the arrow for the blog home. So this is where you can edit the original home page of this theme. For example, by changing the number of posts per page, or allowing or not allowing comments, or changing the header. So right now we are going into the header of the website, which is only the logo basically. Let's go back, and these are all the parts that we can change. So we can change the header of the pages, the header in general, the footer of the pages, the footer. So if we click here, we can access all these parts and edit these parts, or perhaps we can edit another template. Now again, if we go even back in the patterns, this is patterns that we can use again when we create a page. But also down here we have template parts again, we have header. So this is the header we'll be using, the footer, and the general so header pages, footer pages, and so on. So if I want to edit the footer in all the pages, let's go here and let's just change this. So if I click inside this block, which is actually a group, but I'm inside a block. So let's change this and let's make this shorter. Like this is a issue is a magazine and it comes with different styles. That's it. I want to get rid of the rest and save. And it's going to ask you what you want to save or not. Now, if I go back to visit the site, let's see how the pages are looking. So if I go like to team page and I go down there, you can see now the rest of the footer is gone. So this is where again I can customize the overall look of every footer in all the pages. You can see I just updated this. So you have all these patterns and down here you have the template parts. And again, we're back here to the templates. So let's say I want to change the single post. So all the single post, all the pages. So let's go to single post and let's see how we structure how this template is in this theme. So you can see that for the post, I'm gonna see here an image, and then I'm gonna see like an excerpt. So this block is actually the excerpt block, and this is the column and feature image block, and so on. So if I don't want to see like an excerpt inside the post, I'm just gonna delete this. So delete it, and this is not gonna be visible anymore in any post. So if I save everything again, and let's refresh my preview. If I go in the articles, which is the page with the posts, you can see these are two posts. So if I click there, well, if there is no excerpt in there, so you can get rid of entire parts of the posts. You can take away, for example, also this, and this was defined by the template and by some patterns. So let's say I don't want to like the comment part, which is going to be more visible. So if I delete this, and that's not going to be visible anymore in any post. So I'm going to save. Let's visit site again. Go back to articles and just another post. So you can see now I cannot comment in here. I cannot find that thing anymore. And if I don't want also this part, I'm just going to take that and just remove it and save. So same thing, you can do it with the other pages, and there you go. Let's refresh. So that's not going to be visible anymore. You can see we just got rid of another part that perhaps we don't need. So you can customize a little bit the theme through the templates. You can customize the blog home, the index, the pages, the single post, the search result, the page 44, and so on. So it's really important to understand that by working in here in the editor, you can affect not the single pages now, but the whole theme, which works with templates, which works with patterns, and so on. So this will be all for this lesson. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please subscribe to the channel to stay updated, and also please join the channel as a supporter to support us, and check out other video courses and video guides. Thanks for watching. See you in the next.